Good morning, Tangerines.
It is bright and early in Peru. I'm not exactly sure where we are because we're 2 hours outside of Cusco. We are going on a tour today. We had to wake up bright and early, but it wasn't even bright. When we woke up, it was 3:30 a.m. because we were meeting to go on this tour at 4 a.m.
Yeah, so if we're a little bit out of it today, that's why.
When I woke up this morning, I literally could not speak. It was the scariest thing.
It was so weird.
Jordan thought I was having a stroke. I would think the sentences that I wanted to say, and then other words would come out. So if that happens...
If any words at all.
If any words at all. So anyway, I'm recovering now. I've had 3 cups of coffee, so energy.
But yeah, we've come up the mountain pretty high. I'm feeling the effects of the altitude, but here they had some coca tea for us. So they brought us some coca leaves, which you put with some hot water to turn into a coca tea, which really helps with the altitude effects.
Yeah, and a light breakfast. This restaurant was off the beaten path. Like, you would not be able to find this unless you had a guide to take you here. And then shortly we are going to take the bus another hour to go to Montaña de los Siete Colores, or Rainbow Mountain,
where we'll start at the trailhead, and then we're taking a slow-paced hike for 3 hours up to the viewpoint.
Which is what, 3,000, 5,000 more feet of elevation?
Yeah, so they call Denver the mile-high city. Well, we're literally going to be over 3 miles high.
Wish us luck. Rápido, ven.
I don't know how cold it is here, but I can see my breath, and they said where we're going it's even colder, so I'm bundled up. I don't own a coat. I have a sweatshirt and a long sleeve shirt on, and they provide a blanket, so I'm going to just try to get as warm as I can before we get there. I knew it was going to be cold up here, but it is so cold.
It is brisk.
Say fucking frio.
Oh gosh, Jordan. Yeah, so we're basically at the trailhead here. We each paid 1 sol to use the bathrooms because it's going to be a long hike, so who knows what type of bathroom situations are on the way.
Yeah, he said there's another 1.5 hours, so we're going to go up at a slow pace for 3 hours, and then he said it will take about an hour to get down.
But you know, I gotta say, this is some of the prettiest terrain I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely
So
breathtaking.
Beautiful.
What is this?
So good. This is the muña, mint, eucalyptus, with the water, flower. Okay, this is very good for the headache, for the altitude. You have to rub it like this, and then smell. Very good. Okay, that's great. Excellent. Okay?
It's really strong.
This is good for the headache, for the altitude, because you know sometimes people they feel a little dizzy at the 5,000 meter. So this is helping to you. Okay, very good medication for the altitude.
And you have oxygen as well?
Yes, in case. I told you I never use because this is better. And also I will get to you the most important. Oh my God.
Hola, este coco.
Coca.
Coca.
You need to chew the coca leaves, okay? Okay.
You just chew it, kind of like gum?
Yes, but don't eat.
Coca leaves, not to be confused with cocoa leaves or anything else. You chew on these and it helps with the altitude, just like the coca tea.
But he said don't eat it, so chew on it for a while and then spit it out.
It's weird.
He's prepared. Got his walking sticks, got some water and some snacks. He has oxygen, some stuff for headaches.
That, like, altitude potion.
I would like to get moving to warm up.
A little dizzy or headache, that's normal, okay? Don't be worried. Si siente un dolor de cabeza o mareo, eso es normal, no hay que esperarse. You feel a little abscess in the tummy, the same, it's the altitude. Cuando siente un pequeño malestar en el estómago, también eso es la altura. It's different. Remember that you're going to the 5,000 meters. Recuerden que van a los 5,000 metros, ¿ok? Y es un poco diferente, ¿ok?
Warm it up. Warm it up.
Stretch.
That's all you can stretch, Jordan.
I'm making fun of my ability to stretch. So we're just getting started on the trail. How do you feel?
My lungs are burning. I can't tell if it's from the altitude or from the cold though.
I feel good so far. Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same thing, but I think it's from the cold.
Yeah, and a little bit more out of breath than I would expect for this slight gradient. So everyone has the option to get a horse at this point if you don't want to hike, and it's 60 soles per person. We're gonna opt to make the trek on foot and hopefully not pass out.
Yeah, I would get a horse, but I'm too cold, so I need to warm up.
Let's go.
Vamos.
We booked this tour through Airbnb. This was the highest rated tour on there for the Montaña de los Siete Colores. I think it was $54 a person. Yeah, so far I'm really pleased with it. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not pleased with, which has nothing to do with the tour or the quality of it, is the fact that we had to wake up at 3:30 a.m. But to beat the crowds and to make sure that we could get out before they close the passage, you have to get here that early.
Yeah.
Or well, you have to start that early.
So we're gonna put a link to this tour in the description of this video, along with a sign-up link. So if you're new to Airbnb, you can get $40 off of your first stay and $20 off of your first Airbnb experience. What's its name? The name of your hat?
I didn't name it, but I'm saying it's a llama alpaca hat because it looks like a cross between a llama and an alpaca.
So we learned the difference between llamas and alpacas on the way here. And you actually looked up the differences a day or two ago.
Yeah, we should.
What were some of them?
Alpacas and llamas. Llamas have a longer face and pointed up ears, longer ears that stand up. Alpacas are fuzzy with a short neck. Llamas can carry weight. Alpacas do tricks. They can be taught tricks. I think it's hilarious.
And perhaps the biggest difference is llamas are about 3 times the size of alpacas. We've only been walking for 5 or 10 minutes so far, and I'm already warming up. I feel very comfortable now.
Yeah, I could take off some layers.
So we learned on the way here, this is crazy. This mountain of 7 colors was covered by a glacier 20 years ago. And it wasn't until that melted that they could finally see it and learn that it was here. So our guide was saying that the people here are really happy now because they're making a lot of money from the tourism. He was saying it's all these different colors because of all the minerals in the ground. Like there's copper and gold and silver and platinum. So
Iron.
I'm honestly surprised there's not mining here already.
Yeah, the red mountain are bringing all the minerals down there, okay? That's why it became the red color.
Yeah, we noticed on the way here that the river or the stream was red.
Yeah.
So all this snow wasn't here last night or yesterday?
No, last night. The only is that one, okay? But that one and that one, all this happened the last night.
Wow.
Alpaca llamas. Alpaca llamas.
I was just going to translate for those of you who don't understand Maddie's language. A pack of llamas.
Alpaca llamas.
I grew up in Minnesota, so I know what snow is.
Sorry.
And I know about snowball fights, but Maddie, growing up in Arizona, does not.
Yes, I do. We used to have a cabin in Flagstaff, and it snowed there, so it's there.
Does this remind you of that at all?
I mean, Flagstaff is beautiful, but I think this tops it. Like
Nothing alike.
Like it's so beautiful. I can't even possibly describe it.
What are you taking off? You taking off your bra?
No. Undershirt. It's crazy to be this hot when it was this cold.
Yeah.
Magic.
There's getting to be a lot more snow on the trail, and it's gotten a lot wetter, muddier. So far, we've seen the altitude claim 1 victim back there. There was a girl who was really struggling, and Maddie, I think you're doing all right, but you're just slow on energy.
Yeah.
Ruben, can we get some oxygen?
I mean, I think I'm good. Once I stop for like 20 or 30 seconds, then I catch my breath fully.
Do you think oxygen would help her?
This is better than oxygen.
Yeah?
If I get to use the oxygen, it's going to be the same.
So right now, Ruben, our guide, says we're at 4,750 meters, and I'm just starting to feel a little bit of a headache.
Ooh, this is rough. This is really rough.
I'm guessing that you're feeling about like this. Ruben, me gustaría más drogas, por favor. Gracias. We've gone through this phase. We started off freezing, and then we quickly got hot.
I took off a bunch of layers.
But now it's getting colder and colder as we go up, and I'm cold again.
I'm cold, and I think it's getting like compounding more difficult as we climb higher in altitude, and some parts are getting steeper.
Ruben said one of the reasons why I was getting a headache was because I took my hat off, and having it on will help the headache. So it costs 60 soles to get a horse the entire way, but it's cheaper as you walk up. So from here, we're about 2/3 of the way, so it's going to be 20 soles.
Okay. Gracias.
¿Cómo se llama el caballo?
Caballo, Pancho.
Pancho.
Pancho. Gracias.
No tu nombre del caballo. ¿Cómo se llama tu caballo? Panzón. Panzón.
Panzón.
All the other the P. Pancho, Panzón.
Por favor. It's on.
Okay, so this is where the horses drop off.
Apparently we still have to walk more.
Yeah, it looks like a steep climb too, so it's going to be a lot of start, stop, start, stop.
I think we got the hardest part out of the way though on the horse.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that. It was supposed to be 20 soles each, but we had 50 soles and they didn't have change, so it ended up being 50 soles, but I'm glad we did that. I'm struggling really hard, so let's do this though.
All right,
It's now or never.
let's go.
Taking baby alpaca steps.
You look like you're riding the struggle bus.
So much.
No more like driving it.
I wish I was riding the struggle bus, because then at least it'd be driving. I want to sit down, but it's all muddy.
Okay, here, I'll give you a piggyback ride.
No way.
No way.
So it always disappoints me a little bit when my stamina isn't up to something like this, but it makes perfect sense. My body is literally saying, hey you, stop, I need oxygen. What are you doing? This is a bad idea. Mayday, muscles, help, lungs, help.
I bet this would be a lot easier for us if we lived anywhere but sea level.
Yeah.
Like we were at Ajijic at 5,000 feet, or Mexico City at 8,000 feet, or
Yeah.
Oaxaca at 6,000 or
We've been
7,000
living
feet.
at sea level for
Almost a year.
now, so that's
Yeah.
like as low as you could possibly get compared to this, one of the highest places you could possibly get.
Yeah, so we're probably at 17,000 feet now. So approaching 3.5 miles above sea level.
Uy.
Whew.
Ay, 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 ay. Eso es muy difícil porque venimos aquí en la montaña. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Sorry guys, she's getting a little delusional on us.
Lack of oxygen.
Look at the colors here in the stream.
Wow.
It's like blues.
I bet this is from copper. Copper turns this color with water and humidity.
It's interesting that there's 3 other people on this tour with us, and they're all from Mexico. 2 are from Oaxaca, and 1 is from Hidalgo. We just got some more drugs. Our guide offered to take Maddie's backpack.
I feel like such a weenie. We're gonna make it. See
We're doing what we can. Look at this view. Wow.
To think that we hiked this. Incredible.
And now we're about to go up into the clouds. Right up there. looks just like them.
Hola, hermanos.
And like,
Hola. No. This is a hike that never ends, cause it goes on and on, my friends.
We started hiking not knowing how long it was.
And then continue hiking to see all the alpacas. That's really why I did this. Oh,
This is fun, challenging, and tiring all at the same time. You made it.
oh.
Good work. Guide was just telling us, it should have been obvious, but right here, that's a glacier. And then there's a huge glacier on the other side of this mountain, apparently.
It was totally difficult to get up here, but it feels like such a relief. And the air here is so fresh and pure. It's just like
Yeah, really
natural
feel it.
goodness, like nature's healer,
except for the lack of oxygen.
except for the minimal oxygen. Yeah.
Take a nap. Ready for the descent?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, now let's go down, okay? Okay. Good job.
Can't stop taking pictures of this. It's so pretty.
Yeah, honestly, the 7 colors part of it is a little underwhelming to me compared to the pictures we see. I think they use a lot of photo editing in that.
Yeah, and it's possible because it's cloudy and snowy that it's a little bit more muted, but
But I do think this in general is breathtaking.
absolutely. And as much as I've struggled, I still think it's worth it. I probably would have opted to take a horse the whole way though, just because I don't think I've acclimated to the altitude very well, being that we've been living at sea level.
I've acclimated better than Maddie has, but it's still a struggle. It's still hard. Tell you what, guys, I've been looking at this landscape for like 4 hours, and it does not get old. This is absolutely gorgeous.
I'm surprised that people don't talk more about the surrounding landscape, like the terrain around here, because of course the 7-colored Rainbow Mountain was amazing and an interesting natural phenomenon with all the metals in creating the colors, but the terrain around here is equally, if not more, beautiful.
Totally agree.
So on the way up there, I didn't really notice this because I was just struggling too hard, but all of these little streams that kind of pass through the trails, you can see all these colors of rock in
Yeah.
them, like green and maroon.
And Tangerine.
So it's the mountain of 7 colors, the Rainbow Mountain. The rocks are just dispersing and traveling down the mountain, so like you get a little taste of that before you're fully up there.
Right over here to our right, you can see several glaciers. Maybe they're all the same glacier, but they're coming down the mountain in a few different places. And you know what? I bet this entire valley was formed by a glacier, because
Oh, totally.
glaciers are one of the most powerful things in nature. They can change a lot of the landscape over time.
This is the first glacier I think I've ever seen, and honestly, the whole landscape here and this whole experience is like life-changing. I'm so happy we did this. It was difficult, not going to lie about that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would.
Hang on, let me switch hands. Okay.
I honestly don't know that I would do it again. At least not unless I was more acclimatized.
I would do it again. I think it'd be easier the next time.
Yeah, probably. I'm really glad we waited. Like, we've been in Cusco for like 3 days, I think, 4 maybe.
Yeah, 4, I think.
It would have been hell on earth if we had not. I don't
If we
think
tried it like the first day we arrived or something.
I would have passed out for sure.
So after the Rainbow Mountain hike, Maddie, you pretty much were out.
I was donezo. I mean, at the end, I was saying, you know what, I'm glad we did this, but I would never do this again. And you thought differently, but I think the experience for me was like a headache the entire time. I was on the struggle bus the entire time. And by the time we got back to our Airbnb, I was so deathly sick from altitude sickness, I think. I had an impossibly terrible headache. I was nauseous and dizzy, and my body ached everywhere. And so that was pretty much it for Cusco for me. I was sick the entire rest of the time.
Yeah, it took a long time for you to recover after that. And then while we were there, I ended up getting either food poisoning or some stomach bug that was like food poisoning.
Yeah, so we were just like, we were really struggling in Cusco after this. I mean, like I said, I'm glad we did it, but it was really, it really was kind of like downhill after that was over.
So you guys may have noticed that it's been a long time since our last video.
Yeah, like 3 weeks or something. This might be a personal Tangerine Travels record.
Well, after Cusco, we went up to Winnipeg to visit some of my family, and then we went to Phoenix to visit some of yours.
And we had already decided that that was going to be our early Christmas, since we wouldn't be able to spend actual Christmas with our families. So we put the phones away, put the cameras away, and just spent some quality time with them, which put us even further behind on our channel and on videos, like releasing this video, for example.
And then we got back and you had a surgery scheduled.
Yeah, a few days after we got back to Puerto Morelos, I had a surgery scheduled, and I'm not going to be getting into the details of that just yet. I will very likely be explaining everything in a video coming out on our channel, but I still need time to process and fully recover. This is only the second time we've been outside of, well, not we. This is only the second time that I have been outside of the apartment since the surgery, so still recuperating in that apartment.
But that is unrelated to our travel and our trip to Cusco and all that.
Just so you guys know, it wasn't an emergency situation. I don't have cancer or terminal illness that I know of. Hopefully not at all. So this was something that I had planned previously, and it's something that I think was necessary for my long-term health. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So I think that about catches us up for now, and we should hopefully be getting back into the swing of things within the next week or so, all dependent on my recovery, and it seems to be going in a positive direction. So yay, 2 thumbs up there. But before you go, you guys, this is a perfect opportunity to check out our binge watch everything playlist, so we'll link on the end screen to check out our story from the very beginning.
Yeah, on the playlist you can watch every video we've made in order very easily.
Anyway, please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see our upcoming videos that we will be releasing, hopefully very soon.
And one more thing.
Gong that bell, so you are the first to be notified when we release those new videos.
And we'll hopefully see you soon.